Thank you, Deepak. I will share my screen. Please stop sharing your screen. Good evening, everybody. Om Shri Sai Ram. My humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagavan. So today, I extend a warm welcome to all of you on behalf of Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Seva Samiti. So since the start of COVID-19, we have onboarded all our Samiti activities using the virtual online medium, and we are using Skype for that. And exploiting this opportunity, we also wanted to listen from experts, people who have a lot of divine experiences, and we also wanted to listen to them and enlighten ourselves. So as a part of the series, for past few weeks, we had speakers coming from various parts of this country and sharing their divine experiences with all of us. Today, we have Ms. Nalini ma'am with us. We all know, most of us who have assembled over here will know about Nalini ma'am. And thank you, ma'am, first of all, for accepting the invite, and you are now here to share your experiences, your divine experiences with all of us. Thank you very much, ma'am, for accepting the invite and being here with us. I will give you a brief introduction about Nalini ma'am. I will also share the screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can anybody identify where is Nalini ma'am in this? Can anybody identify where is Nalini ma'am in this? Can anybody unmute and tell? Yeah.
Right.
Sorry.
Side bottom.
Right side corner. Okay, yeah, that's correct. So you see, Nalini ma'am and their family is associated with Swami since 1969. In fact, she's the first set of students coming out of the Balavikas, and she was highly selected by Swami to deliver a speech in the first Balavikas rally held in 1973 in Vrindavan. And Swami has guided their entire family in various different aspects, right from choosing the right profession for them. So Swami guided her to take up a role in a bank. And she delivered multiple different discourses and in front of Swami in the year 1977. And she was personally chosen as a student of a summer course in Vrindavan. And she held multiple different positions in her professional life. And at a later point in time, she was elevated to assistant manager, assistant general manager, and she was posted in Shillong, in Meghalaya. And during that specific time, she played a very important leading role and an instrument in setting up a temple for Swami there in Shillong. And she has a lot of divine experiences with her today, which she will be sharing with us. But as we all know, many things, many of our Samiti members will be knowing that she is also a senior Sai Vibronics practitioner, and she has cured multiple different people for multiple different ailments. Many of them have seen success, and many of them were averted from even an operation. So she has helped multiple different families in her family, in her entire life. So there is a small Shubhashitam. I will read it out for you. Paropakaraya phalanti vrikshaha, paropakaraya vahanti nadyaha, paropakaraya duhanti gavaha, paropakarartam idam shariram. So the trees gives the fruit without any selfishness. It is in a selfless mode. It is providing the fruit for others. Similarly, the river is flowing for the others. It provides water. It provides life source for many people across the world and globe. Similarly, the cow provides milk without any selfishness. It is all you can see in the nature. Nature is filled with love, kindness, generosity. Giving is the nature. In the last specific Subhashitam says, Paropakarartham midam shariram. In fact, all the human beings should also, the purpose of the human life is also to share love, share kindness, be selflessness. Madam is idly showcasing the selflessness through her seva, through her service to the society. She has showered love across to various different people in the society. She has treated multiple different people for various different ailments, even acute chronic diseases. People have widely cured themselves using Sai Vibronics treatment. I once again extend a warm welcome to our ma'am to share her divine experiences. It'll be awesome to listen to her. Please mute yourselves throughout the session. Please do not switch on your video throughout the session. And please just listen to her and experience the divine flow of energy within you as she narrates her divine experiences. The topic that she chose for today is Sai, Sarva Vyapi, Sarva Sakshi, Sarvantaryami. So over to you, ma'am. Thank you once again for accepting our invite. Saira, ma'am. Please unmute yourselves, ma'am.
Thank you very much. अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अनेकजन्म सम्प्राप्त कर्मबन्धविदायिने आत्मज्ञानप्रदानेन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ज्ञानमूलं गुरुमूर्ति पूजामूलं गुरोर्पदं मन्त्रमूलं गुरुर्वाक्यं मोक्षमूलं गुरु कृपा। My humble pranams at the lotus feet of my most beloved Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Sai Ram to all of you who have been watching this program from your own comfortable places or residences. ఎందరో మహానుభావులు అందరికీ వందనము. There are so many people who have seen Bhagavan, who have mingled with Bhagavan, and who have had experiences with Bhagavan, and who have received so many things from Bhagavan, whether it is material gift or whether it is jnana or whether it is Purna Kataksha. Today, I will be speaking on the subject Sai Sarvavyapi, Sarvasakshi, Sarvantaryami. All of you know about it, and all of you have also had experiences with it. But how we perceive things and how we understand things is what I would like to say. In the year 1968, we were in Chennai. We were living in Chennai, and my father was in Pune. He was there working for Defense Accounts Department. For 17 years, he was in Pune. Every year, he would come for 1 or 2 months and go back. Taking leave, he would come. So, my mother and all of us, we were living in Chennai. Next to our house, 2 houses next to our house, I can say, there was one Sai family who used to do bhajans. But we didn't know anything about Sai Baba at that time. My brother, younger brother, was around 5-6 years old, I can say. The head of that family used to call my brother, and we never knew that he was being called, but suddenly he would disappear from our house. One day it so happened that he came with a small photo of Swami, and he stuck that photo, pasted it on the, these children, we used to take one pad to the exams. So he had stuck it in that one, pasted it in that. And every day what he would do was to have bath, go with wet clothes and come around that picture by keeping it in the stool. He used to keep it in the school. We were in a very small house. Every day he would do that, and I used to see the photo also. One day what happened, suddenly there were drops of vibhuti on that photo. We never knew about all these things. And we let my brother do whatever he wanted it. We did not comment anything about it also. In the year 1969, my father got transferred to Bangalore. So all of us, we came to Bangalore. Once we came to Bangalore, we got a house, in a place called as Osborne Road. And there, it was a very small house, you call it as outhouse. That is, in the front, the owner used to stay. And at the back, there used to be some small houses, and there were 2 houses. One house be occupied. In one house, there was already one family staying there. So the moment we went and stayed there in that house, in the opposite house, there was a big picture of Swami in the front room itself. So we used to see that picture and then relate to the picture which my brother used to keep it in the, which he had pasted it on the writing pad. Then we asked that person about this Satya Sai Baba, and the lady of the house, she said, Baba is here in Whitefield only, and for this Whitefield we have to catch a train and go. And it used to be around 2-3 stations, and Baba will be giving darshan there. Most of the time he is in Bangalore only, like that. So we all decided, except my father, because my father was working, and all of us, we decided to go to Whitefield one day. So we were all small children, my elder sisters and all, two of my elder sisters were in college. One was, both were in college at that time. Then we went. There was no other conveyance, and Whitefield used to be a place which is so deserted, and in between, even those Marthahalli and other places also used to be so deserted there. You can't find any house anywhere there. So, but we went by train, and Swami had already come out by the time we went, and he was giving darshan, and he used to give darshan in a place called a Sairam shed, where there used to be a tree, and surrounding the tree there used to be a shed. And Swami had already come at the back of the shed, that is to the back side of that, you can call it as a bhajan, where the bhajans or the darshan used to be conducted, Sai Ram shed. All of us, we went. Looking at all of us, Swami, we went so close to Swami because already Swami had come out, and he was actually, whether we went there or he came to us, we don't know. But what happened was he was very close to us. Then we were all standing, and Swami came and he said, he told in Tamil, I think everybody can understand Tamil. It is very simple sentence what he spoke. He said, Vango ma, ukarungo. And he showed the place where we should sit. It is at his feet down below. He was standing and he said, come and you sit here. So all of us, we went and sat there. That is my mother and except my father, the whole family. My brother, of course, he was a very small child. But he also came to the ladies' side only. And that lady of the house, the opposite house. So this was the first beginning. Why I'm stressing on this is that we went to Swami without expecting anything, without probing into who he was, and without any reason or a season. We never expected anything from him. We just went to him, that's all. Without any doubt as to who he is, what he is, how he is, nothing. So Swami welcomed as though we welcomed the guests in our house. Vango ukarungo, like that he said. This was a shock to us because we never expected that the person in the photo, whom we are seeing it in person, would welcome us like that, because first time we are seeing. Then what happened? We were very happy, and that lady of the other house said, what? She was shocked because she had been going to Swami, and it did not happen to her, or as she had seen, it had not happened to many people over there. Then what happened? We kept on going. We had that pull that he had pulled us through his divine unseen strings. So from that day onwards, we used to go to Whitefield quite often. Then my father came to Whitefield one day, first time, and first time he was seeing Swami, and he had taken some flowers in his hands and he was waiting. Swami came straight to him and took away that flower and went away. He didn't know the procedure also. He was quite disappointed that Swami had taken the flowers from me. He thought that he would bless and give it back. But he had taken the flowers and it gone. Then he came and we discussed about it. Then we said there was some knowledge which came to our own brain, which Swami himself had prompted it. He took the flower and gave it to somebody else. And we said, Appa, there is no need to think about it. One lesson what we can learn is that whatever you offer to Swami, it is his. And whomever he wants to give, he will give. But the acceptance, it is like, because we cannot be put in his hands. Whatever flower we are offering to him, it is nothing but ourselves. It is like a messenger, or what you call in Tamil, a thuduvan. Thudu pogaradu. Adavadu, நான் சுவாமி கிட்ட சரண்டர் ஆகிறதுனா எப்படின்னா, பிசிக்கலா we can surrender, mentally, emotionally, all these ways we can surrender. But this is just a representation that my surrender, I am giving myself to you. That is the thing. Then it so happened, in every darshan, or whenever we used to go to Whitefield or anywhere, we used to feel his presence. In the sense, like, of course, it used to give us a lot of excitement, and also, what next, like that. One day, we all went to Whitefield, and those days there were no canteens, and there were no, hotels or restaurants or anything like that. It was, as I said already, it was a very, deserted place except for Swami's ashram, and one small tea shop used to be there. So there used to be bhajans on every Thursday and Sunday, Akhand bhajan. Akhand bhajan in the sense from morning 8 o'clock till evening when Swami comes and takes the arati. It used to be like that. That we used to call it as Akhand bhajan. So my mother used to pack all the, food and other things. And those days there were no mobiles, there were no, gas facility also was not there. So we all remember we used to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then we had to walk 40 minutes to the East Railway Station. And from there we used to go to Whitefield, get down from the train. Swami knows the train timings. Mostly he would come setting himself according to the train timings, so that a lot of people used to come. If he goes before that, they would miss his darshan, like that. And we used to stay behind. Whole day we used to be there. It so happened one day it was a very hot summer, and there were no water anywhere available. They used to keep some in earthen pots under some tree or something like that. It used to be full of trees, and in 2-3 places they used to keep. My mother was feeling very thirsty, and she went and saw in one of the pots there was no water. And she went to another pot. I also used to go behind her only. So another pot she saw, there also no water. Then one more pot was there, which, now the present books and publications which are there in Brindavan, where they sell books. That place used to be called as Dikshit Veranda, Dikshit place. He used to stay there. A person called one Mr. Dikshit. He was the son of this. You would have heard about Dikshit in Satya Sai, in Shirdi Sai Satcharita. So his son he was. So what happened? He used to come behind Swami, and he used to stay in that place. So we used to call that place as Dikshit Veranda. There was one pot, and in that pot also water was very deep under in the pot, but it was very deep. So I said, Amma, don't worry, I will take water and I'll give you. So somehow I took some water. The kaka idu pannuvame inda kallu pottu thanni vandadundra madri and the mela irundha thanni kudikira mari, like that. Some water was there. Somehow I managed and I gave it to my mother. My mother kept her hands like this, and then she drank it from the hand like this. So her thirst was quenched. These may appear, what I am telling may appear very silly or very insignificant when we look at it just physically like this. But what happened? She had the food, water, quenched her thirst, and then we came and sat in the bhajan, and Swami came in the afternoon around 3:30, 4 o'clock. He came for the bhajan, and we were sitting at the side section, in the ladies only. There used to be 4 this thing around the tree. 4 passages used to be there, one right in front, then one between the gents, and one behind between gents and ladies, and another one between ladies' sides, both among the ladies only. There we were sitting. Swami came. He came and stood in front of us, and then he was looking somewhere, and then he looked at me and looked at my mother. After looking at my mother, he said, Thanni, daham, 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 daham. Ippudi kai vechu kudichiya? Daham adangita? Teendu pocha? Like that. My mother was shocked, and even I was also shocked, but I never used to be scared of Swami or anything like that. And so Swami laughed, even I laughed, my mother also, she also laughed. And then what happened, the others who were sitting around us were wondering, what is Swami telling like this? Then then what happened was we came home. We were very happy that at least Swami had to say something like this. But if we think of this, what happens is Swami is in his residence. Now what is called as Trai Brindavan. That was an ordinary one bungalow at that time, not in lotus-shaped bungalow. It was a bungalow, but. And this Dikshit place is somewhere from where Swami cannot see physically, he cannot see from there. Next time when you go to Brindavan, you can see where the books and publications are there. You can see that. So, how Swami would have seen my mother and drinking this water? And again coming and proving himself that he knows everything. Whatever is being done, whoever is moving, whatever each and everybody is doing, everything he knows. So this was another incident which tells us that Swami is Sarvavyapi, Swami is Sarvantaryami, Swami is Sarvasakshi. So next what happened was, another day, same, there was no change in Brindavan. Okay, all the trees were there and all the buildings as it is, there was no change. So one day myself, my mother and my father went to Brindavan. And those days, in ordinary days, what used to happen, for darshan, people used to sit in two lines. One lady's side starting from Swami's gate, that is at the Trai Brindavan, and it would come and end up to the main gate of Brindavan from the road. And if more people are there, they would sit in the second line like that. Similarly, gents side also from the gate of Swami, from the other gate, two gates used to be there, and from there till the end. So Swami came for darshan, and then he saw my, he looked at my father, and my father told Swami, Swami, my wife has come. Then Swami immediately said, because I was sitting just opposite my father and my mother was sitting next to me, then Swami said, Pakare, time illaye. Same words he used. Pakare, time illaye. Then after the darshan was over, then he went away and we were discussing about this. What is this Pakare, time illaye? At that time, Swami did not have any college in Brindavan. Maybe, he had a college, but it was affiliated to Bangalore University. And there were very few students studying in that Brindavan thing. But there was no college in Puttaparthi. There used to be a college only in Anantapur for ladies. And this college in Bangalore also, in Brindavan, that used to be affiliated to the Bangalore University. So he didn't have established any university at that time. Then I was thinking, what is this Swami is telling? Pakare, time illiye. What is he doing? He comes for darshan. If you set the clock, always it used to be around 20 to 25 minutes. That's all. And morning 20 to 25 minutes, evening 20 to 25 minutes. Rest of the time, what he is doing? Why he is telling that there is no time? So that was working in my mind. I was young. Probably I do not know how others used to think at that time about the same situation. Then it so happened, when many miracles and when many incidences physically or in the astral form, whatever was happening, and also when Shirdi Sai Satcharita and Shirdi Sai's life was telecast in the TV, and I used to sit opposite the TV for this Shirdi Sai Babas, and never feel that those people who are acting in that as actors, I used to feel that it was really happening in front of me. And most of the incidences, when I used to see, I used to cry in front of the TV, thinking of Baba, my mother. In fact, my whole body would shake like that. I used to cry for some of the things events in Swami's life. You can see even now that in Shirdi Sai, he says that he would be in Dwarka Mai, but looking at what other people are doing in the entire world or in the entire universe, because he is Brahmanda Nayaka Baba. That is, he has to control not even the human beings or any other being, living being or non-being, but even the planets and the whole universe, he has to control. So he had tremendous job to do, and I can say he still has, and he is having, because he is the creator, so he has so much of work to do, and with all that thing, he's still sparing his time to think of all of us, because we are all his creations. So he is Sarvantaryami, Sarvavyapi, Sarvasakshi. Then it so happened in 1969, actually, moment we came here and when we saw Baba, I don't know, I can't remember specifically, but myself and my brother joined Bal Vikas in Alsur. Again, Alsur was quite far away from my house because we were in Osborne Road and there were no buses and no other conveyance. So myself and my brother with my eldest sister, we used to walk 40 minutes or so to reach Alsur Samiti. My Bal Vikas teacher was Vasantamma. And at that time, Vasantamma's father was also living. So every Thursday, we would go very early and only Vasantamma's father used to be there. And I used to wash all the puja materials over there, including Ganta and the Karpura Arati, that plate, lamps, everything I used to wash. Though I was a small girl, I used to wash and keep everything ready, wait for the bhajan to start, and like that it used to be. Those days, Swami used to come in my dream quite often, and he used to say, teach me many things in spiritual matters also, and certain things I would not understand. And one day it so happened in one of the dreams itself, I told Swami, please don't come in my dream. And because I cannot understand and you are not giving proper, you say, he used to say something and then say, you will come to know later. Like that, he would say. I don't have time to tell a few dreams which I had, but those dreams were real dreams. It was not simply a dream. And one day what happened in 1972, in December, I had a dream in which I am in Whitefield and in Vrindavan, and that day it was Vaikunta Ekadashi, and there were so many people in that, and Swami was giving Amritam to everybody. So he came to me also, and I was holding my hand like this, and he put one spoon of Amritam in my hand, and he said, you drink it, you will progress, he said. Then that dream went away. I drank it in front of him. He smiled at me and then he went away. And I was thinking, what progress? I was in 9th standard, like that, just the beginning, 8th or 9th something. And what progress is there? I'm not going to enter the college also now, like that. But then I thought, okay, it is as usual. He will say so many things and then we'll say what, when it happens only, I will come to know what it is. Then it was at the back of my mind. One day, I went to, as usual, I came to Alsur Samiti. Then Vasantamma told, we are going to have first ever Bal Vikas rally in Vrindavan and in Swami's presence. So you have to give a talk. Then it was a shock to me at that time. But as a small girl, and I was very, very innocent, I never used to think of anything. Nowadays, because of the media and other things, there are so many, laptops, then mobile phones and TVs and everything. Now children are different. But those days, all these things were not there. So only thinking of Swami, nothing else. And whatever parents used to give, I used to eat and read, study. Always I used to come first in the class. But even before the examination, one day before also, I would be in Whitefield only, in Brindavan only, taking Swami's darshan. But I used to come first in the class, like that. Then what happened? She said, I'm from boys' side, even though my brother was there, but because he was too small, so they had already chosen Ravi, who is now the warden of Brindavan, uh, hostel. And he was a professor and he head of the department, whatever it is, that we both were together at that time, even Sundareshan, then Sridhar, and all those most of the people who are really doing Swami's work, they were all in my batch of first batch of Balvika students. Always Vasantama used to take us to Brindavan, and we used to go in train and singing bhajans and all that. We used to go and assemble, but we never used to sit along with the other devotees. We used to be separate. Swami used to come and he would look at all of us, and Vasantama used to identify me, and she used to say, when Swami comes, you sing song, you sing the bhajan. So I used to sing. And Swami, those days there were no mics, nothing. You have to sing very loudly. So that loudness was not there. One day even Swami asked me, what, there is no petrol in your stomach or what? Like that. Then, but one day what happened was, I was singing that Sai Mahadeva, Satya Sai Mahadeva. He went into a trance. For more than 15-20 minutes, he was standing in front of us only with the Balvikas people. And he never opened he kept his finger like this and went into a trance. So I had to sing the same song 7-8 times. And then later on, he came out of his trance. What he was doing was also an answer to my question. Pakren, time illiye. This is what he was doing. He went into a trance. I don't know which house he went to, which country he went to. I do not know, because he wanted to look at something else. I'll come to this point once again when Swami had personally told this thing as to what really happens when he comes out for darshan. Then, I was telling about the Balvikas. Then the Balvikas rally, it was held on 13th of January 1973. First ever Balvikas rally. There was no hostel building which is now here right now. At that time, it used to be a tank, a dried tank. And there used to be a lot of steps from all the four sides. And so it was like a gallery. And there was a big crowd. And so they had, arranged one dais for Swami. And at that time, there were about 17 to 19 samitis in Bangalore. So some of the samitis chose to play some dance and drama and all those things. From our samiti, it was a talk. One by me, one by Ravi. Swami when blessed Ravi, and he gave the speech, and he blessed me, and I also gave the speech. And you know how it would be when you have to talk in front of such a big crowd, and the first time ever. And somehow the talk was very good, I suppose, and because there was some applause in between also for whatever I said at that time. And then Swami blessed profusely. That day was over. 15th of January, that is after 2 days, was my birthday. And Swami always used to be in Puttaparthi during this Sankranti time. But it so happened that he was in Bangalore at that time. So I don't give importance to myself for anything. So I was just thinking whether to tell Swami it is my birthday, because what is big thing about my birthday? Like that. We celebrating his birthday is something different. Then what happened? Anyway, my parents were also telling, you go, Swami is here, first one opportunity, you go, like that. So I took some flowers and I went to Vrindavan. So there used to be several passages by which Swami could go to give darshan. But that day he came to the place where I was sitting. Then when he came here, I showed the flowers like this, and then I said, Swami, it's my birthday. Then Swami looked into my eyes, and then he asked, hey, in Tamil only. He used to talk to me in Tamil only, sometimes only in Telugu. Then, hey, nee thane speech kudta anniki, like that. I said, yes, Swami, I only gave. Romba nanna irundhathu, he said. Then I didn't have any feeling when Swami was telling like that. Then he said like that and he went away. Then I was thinking, what is this? I am telling birthday and I wanted his blessings, but instead he is asking something and then he went away also without even touching the flowers which I have given. If he doesn't take it also, at least he used to touch also for some people. He didn't do that also. It was a flash of my thought and that flash went into him. I don't know. Then what happened? After two people who were sitting next to me, he came behind me like that. You know, we are all like sunflower. Where there is sun, we all used to show our face. The sunflower used to show. Like that only. Wherever Swami goes, all our eyes would be to that. And we would turn our whole body also to have the darshan of Swami. Or everybody's experience. These experiences, what you know, some people notice for themselves, some people do not notice for themselves, even though they have gone to Swami. But what happened? All of us, we turned him. Then he came, he was at just 1 foot away from me, in front of me. Then he said, your birthday? Like that. And he told in the sense like, you know, birthday nuna? Like that. I said, yes, Swami. Then immediately he created Vibhuti and then he gave it to me in my hands and he touched my head also and he kept his hand on my head like that and blessed me and went away. So I was just thinking, this is the first progress that had happened. After the dream, there were several other things also. But here, what happens is that he knows very well. Not that he has to look at me and recognize me and then tell that it is. It was just to show to me that, you know, he knows everything and he has only arranged everything and he has only before not even arranging, he had planned everything for ourselves. You know, it is just to say in front of me, it is only giving my soul a little bit of happiness. And such things happen to many people like that. Then what happened? After 1 year or so, I was in SSLC and I developed a very serious skin disease. And it was all over my body. And I used to be very fair. Now I am an old lady, but very fair and very chubby and all those things, you know, like. And this was like a small, round, you know, eruptions all over my body. And I was going to the doctor. My mother had taken me to the doctor. And the doctor was giving me, it is not in a hospital, it was in a clinic. And he was a army doctor. And he was giving treatment to me. Every day, my mother would carry me and I used to get injection. I have had nearly 48 injections. Every day one injection. And it used to be, you know, like all over the body, no place left. Then one day what happened, it started coming even in the forehead, in the face also. And fully when it came, the teacher told me that something is wrong with you and please don't come to the school. And I was in SSLC and physics and mathematics, all those things used to be tough at that time. And if I missed the class, then what would happen to me? It is a crucial time for me and what to do. Then she said, no, you can, you are an intelligent girl, you can manage, no problem, but don't come to the school because other children, if they get, then what to do? So I stopped going to the school. Then my mother was feeling very bad and 2-3 days before that, when I stopped the school, the doctor told uh, one of his, that is his brother-in-law, had something like this, whatever was there. And those days, there was no cure for psoriasis. And he was then telling that this was a kind of psoriasis, but I don't know what it is, but you can say, call it as psoriasis only. Now, after becoming a Vibronic practitioner, now I know what is psoriasis. But that which was there on my body was not actually psoriasis, but it was some terrible disease. And then what happened? My mother told my father, and what the doctor did was, I have to tell you this. Doctor said that this is the thing, and his brother-in-law died because of that, because it used to be even in between the fingers also. You know, those places in between the fingers also, it used to be there. And by taking that, the scales from those, uh, uh, you know, injury, whatever you call it as, the disease would go into the mouth and would hurt the stomach, and the person would, it would poison that person, and the person would die. Like that was the thing. So here what happened was, so he gave a kind of kesari bath type on ointment also. And he said that from now onwards, nobody should touch her, and all her plates, tumblers, everything, her clothes, everything should be separate. So I was totally isolated from my family. And this was happening on like 3-4 days, or maybe 1 week, I can say. I was like that. And nobody touched me, nobody came near me, and nobody, they were very scared. All my own sisters, everybody was scared except my mother. And and that ointment, when you put it, you can't wear clothes, because my mother had to put it even at the back and all that, everywhere it was to be put. And I was looking very filthy at that time. So, and I could not wear my dress. My mother gave one piece of her sari. She said, luckily, I was a very young girl, I can say, and not much growth was there. So I could put it like a dhoti, and then this one like to cover my body like that. But I was feeling very filthy and very this thing. Then I thought I was waiting for my death. Then I thought when it would come, like that. My mother one day, she told my father, what is this, our child? She is suffering like this. Baba is here. Why can't we ask Baba about it? My father said, no, I cannot ask Baba for whatever happened to her, or whatever, because of her, she is our child, and we are suffering because of her. Whatever happens, I will not ask Swami, because it is our karma. What can Swami do? It is our karma. So we should not bring any problem before Swami. We go to Swami to elevate ourselves. That is all. We should not be bothered about our physical or our mental conditions or our emotional conditions. We should go to Swami only to, understand him, learn from him as to how we have to develop or uplift us in conscious level. Then what happened? My mother she cried almost. And then she said, I'm helpless. I don't know how to write letter to Swami. At least on my and give it to me. I will ask Nalini to go and give it to Swami. Then Swami, my father said, okay, I will write letter and I'll give it, but I won't go and ask Swami. So next day I went with the letter, and with me, my elder sister and my second elder sister and my second elder sister, they both agreed to come, and they came. It was a Friday. There was a big crowd there. And Swami had already come out, and people were sitting in at that time also there was Sairam shed only, and no canteen, no facilities, no hotel, same situation. Then what happened? I was holding the letter like this in my hand, and thinking, Swami, please come near me and take the letter from me. Swami was talking to somebody. He was looking at me, but not coming near me. Then some other thought came to me. You too, Swami, you too won't come near me. You will not touch me, okay, but you won't come near me. Okay, anyway, I am going to die. No problem. I've had your darshan. This is my last darshan. Like that, I was feeling. I didn't cry. I didn't do anything. I didn't feel bad also, only like this. Then Swami went away to his residence. Then it was time for lunch. My mother had already packed in case you don't have, you are bound to be for the evening darshan. Then you have this food. It was sambar rice or something like that. She had packed in a tiffin box. So my eldest sister said, I have to go to the office, and she went away. She said, Prema will be there. My second eldest sister will be there with you. So you see, you try one more chance in the evening, and you see. So afternoon time, my sister opened the box and she said, we'll have lunch. I said, no, you are going to leave. So you have. What is the use of my taking food when I'm going to die? So you take, no problem. I'm very happy. I was looking at Swami's window only. I was sitting in Sairam shed and I was looking at the Trai Brindavan, where at that time there was just a bungalow, and he used to keep his windows, and also many windows used to be there. And from here I used to see. I can't see Swami because we don't have that faculty of seeing that much distance from our naked eye, with our naked eyes. I was just praying to Swami. It's okay, Swami. I'm leaving, no problem, like that. Then my sister started crying. She said, no, please, you should take. Then I told her, okay, in that case, you give it to me in my hand. So she gave 2 or 3, balls of food in my hand, and I took that. That's all. Then it was after some time, after 1 or 2 hours, it was time for darshan, and people started sitting there. So I also went and sat there. I was, the 2 rows from Swami's bungalow, 2 rows used to be there. I was sitting in 4th or 5th person, like that. Next to me, my sister was sitting. Time for darshan, Swami came. He lifted his robe in one hand and he came walking, waving his hand like that, like left, right, we put, like that. So this thing, he came very fast. The doors, both the gates were kept wide open. As soon as Swami came, he came straight to me. Then he asked, what happened? In Tamil, he asked, enna aachu? Then he took the letter from me. I gave the letter. Took the letter. He said, enna? I said, what can I say? It's all over my body, but I could show only my hands to him. Then I said, Swami, like this, it has happened like this. I spread out my hand and everything. Then my sister was telling, no, Swami, the doctor is telling like this, psoriasis, this thing and all that. Then Swami said, no, it is not psoriasis. But he didn't say what it was. I know it was a very poisonous disease. And he said, it's not psoriasis. And he said, Swami, prasadam kudukren, ella seriyaidu. So he waved his hand, and then he took vibhuti and gave it to me, and also kept his hand on my head for some time. He said, "Idu saapudu, ella seriya poidum," like that. He was the second person who touched me. First was my mother, and second was Swami. Swami touched me. Then what happened? I didn't take that vibhuti immediately into my mouth, because I wanted to show this to my mother, because my mother was insisting that I should go and get tell Swami about it, like that. So I wanted to show the entire this thing. Some people nearby me were asking, please give me that vibhuti and all that. He said, no, it is one given for a specific purpose, so it should not be given to the other people, because that much, if you are distributing to the other people, that person, that if it is given for any sickness or anything, then that much sickness would remain. That is what people used to say. But in my case, okay, what I did was, I did not give that vibhuti. I brought it home and I showed it to my mother. My mother was very happy, and then she said, now this is your medicine. You put a pinch of it in water and then you drink that water. Like that. I stopped going to the doctor. Then first day I put, second day also I put the vibhuti in the water, third day also I put in the water. Each day it was decreasing, decreasing, decreasing. And on the fourth day, I have been like this. No trace of myself, all those things anywhere on my skin. And that time, in fact, my skin was glowing like anything because now I am old and I didn't take care of myself also. So maybe something different than it was at that time. This was a very big miracle. Then what happened was, as I was not going to the doctor, one day what happened, but I still didn't go to the school because it was only 4 days after Swami had given me the vibhuti and all that. So my father was going that way. He was passing the clinic. At that time, the doctor didn't have any patient inside in the clinic. So he had come for just, to take some air from outside. And he was standing there, it seems. My father, as soon as he saw my father, he asked, why Nalini is not coming? What happened? How is the thing? And my father said, Nalini will not come. For her, Swami is the doctor. She will never come. I had taken such a resolution that, I will not go to the doctor henceforth because Bhagavan is my Vaidyanatha and he is my everything. How can it be? I must come and see. He closed his clinic. He came along with my father. My father was to go for some other purpose. He cut short that and then he came with the doctor because the doctor was insisting. Then he came and knocked our door because our door is always used to be closed. And he came and then my father said, Nalini, just see who has come. I didn't go out of that room where I was there. Then he came. My father brought him and he saw me. He was shocked. The doctor was shocked. He said, in no medical history so far, I have seen like this. And then I don't know what he did. Next time, after a month or so, Swami afterwards, he went off to Puttaparthi. And again, when he came back to Whitefield, this doctor was coming behind Swami. Swami used to... behind Swami, there used to be either Padmanabhan or Dr. Sundar Rao, like that. Somebody used to be there like that. So this is what had happened. And I was thinking, my God, I have been an ordinary devotee and I can't call myself as a devotee also. But, I just very ordinary, very simple this thing. But this person, after what happened to me, the faith had come into him. And because of his status, whatever it may be, I don't know, or how he and Swami got connected, because before that he didn't know anything about Swami. But he had the opportunity to come behind Swami. This was what happened. And this Swami did it to me. I can very well think that this happened to me and this has come, maybe my karma also, but this fact I had spoken in many of my speeches, in many places, including California, in US. So this is what, he gives certain things, he does certain things, not because of the person is having something, but, maybe he may set an example to the other people that way. Then what happened? I was, Swami always used to call me as, Bangaru or Balvikastu, many places, because I can see even, Swami gave one big opportunity. Swami used to come to some important people who used to be there near, living near our house. Swami used to come to their houses and all that, but we were ordinary people, economically backward people. I can say. Then meeting, he cannot. Our house is very small, and how Swami can come to our house like that? But you know what happened? He gave us an opportunity. There was one couple who came from London and they stayed near our house. And one day when I was standing outside of my house, he came straight to me and then he said, "Do you know Satya Sai Baba? I heard that you people are doing the bhajans here. So can I come and attend like that?" And then in course of time, he became friendly with us. And he told my father that I have a plan of calling Swami to my house. Then my father said, okay. Then he said, no, no, I want your family also to be there present. Because they, that couple, they didn't have any other issue also. No children. Only both of them were there. So the day came and my mother was to cook for Swami that day. So she cooked everything and even his wife also cooked something, but that was North Indian because they were Punjabis. Then Swami came and I had, I had several opportunities there and there also he said, Balvikastu, that's the thing. And then I had the opportunity to drink the water that Swami had washed his hands with after the food was served. And then he came, he took my father and my mother to one room there and he gave interview to them. Not all of us, only for my father and mother. One thing I have to say here, my mother was sitting in Vrindavan and Baba came and there was one foreigner sitting next to my mother. He said, come to Puttaparthi. He told in English, come to Puttaparthi. My mother heard this. My mother cannot talk in English, but she knows English and then she can read, write and all that, okay. She came home and she said, Baba has told me to come to Puttaparthi. My father was telling, no, how he can tell you? What did he tell you? He said in English, come to Puttaparthi. Then my father said, then that means it's not for you. Who was sitting next to you? One foreigner was sitting. Then it is for her, not for you. No. Swami said, not only for her, for me also, because he looked at me, so it belongs to me also. So we have to go to Puttaparthi. That time my father and mother had not been to Puttaparthi. It was in 1971 or something like that. Then what happened? They had lot of arguments because only one bus, no train and all. If you go by train, you have to go to Dharmavaram and then from there, not like these trains which are here. So there were a lot of arguments and then they went. But the moment they went there, they didn't know the procedure, how to take darshan, where to sit and all that. Somebody guided and then my father went to the gents side, my mother went through the ladies side. But my father, my mother and my brother went. As soon as even my father could just not even sit down, Swami had already come out of his thing for giving darshan. He saw my father prostrating before him and immediately he picked like this and then said, come to the foot of the. My mother didn't know anything and she was coming through the ladies' side. Then there they told, has your wife come? Yes, like that. And then he was made to stand in the veranda. Then waited for my mother. Then my mother had actually packed so many, silk saris and all that, thinking that next day she would dress up nicely and go before, because those days of going to Puttaparthi, 8 hours it used to take by bus. So they went, she was planning like that, but she was sweating and didn't even wash her thing because she didn't even keep her luggage also anywhere. As soon as they landed, then Swami went into the interview room and my mother and father, my brother, everybody went. Then Swami told in the interview that, about their argument. He said, no, I wanted you people to come. And so for that, why so much of argument? And he went on telling about whatever happened in the house, everything, and even in the bus also they were, they were having a heated argument. You know what, whether Swami would give us interview or not. If he doesn't give interview, then our coming, spending so much money and all those things, so what would happen and all that. So everything, all their thoughts, everything was spoiled. And then he just, all this happened. Why? It is not to say about my family what had happened, but I have to tell because I have been there to witness all these things. It is just to show that he knows everything. He is Sarvasakshi, Sarvavyapi, Sarvantaryami. It so happened, one more incident, and then at that time, my brother was in just fifth standard or something. Then Swami said, you come and join my college. When you are coming to the college level, you come and join my college. He told at that time itself. Then these people went to see the entire Puttaparthi, that Venugopal Swami temple. And when they were in Venugopal Swami's temple, then one Baba came in the car and then he said, what you people are seeing? Venugopal Swami. Then he started explaining about the Venugopal Swami temple and whatever happened there to my father and mother and my brother. Only those three were there looking at this thing. Then what happened? This is one of the incidences to show that. In 1977, I was in the first, I finished, just completed my first year degree. I was due for summer course in Vrindavan. That time, Swami, from 1972, Swami had been conducting summer course. But on that, when it came, my turn came, of course, my sisters, they could not get the opportunity. They were not selected for some reason. But when my turn came, I was very bent upon attending that. And they said that this time there is going to be an entrance examination. And I said, what is this? All this time they were just selecting, and only when my turn comes, it is examination. But then I went and did my examination. And you know, from each district, each state, they would select only 20 boys and 20 girls. There may be so many districts within the state, but from each state, they used to select only 20 boys and 20 girls like that. So from Karnataka, it used to be 10 boys, I mean not 20, totally 20, 10 boys and 10 girls. So when the results came, I was not selected. Then I was feeling very bad because only one would be selected and it went to some other lady. And she was not at all, she just came to Bhagwan's fold at that time. But I had been there from Bal Vikas also. So I was just, thinking, what is this happening? I was feeling really sad for the first time. Then I came to the house, knowing the result. I went near the Swami's photo. And one photo used to be there. When you look at it, it looks as the Swami is looking at you. You go in any direction, it will look as the Swami is looking at you. Such a kind of a photo knack. They have taken that photo. So that picture. I went and told Swami, and I started, like he's my friend, like that. Very bad. I have not been selected, and so many are selected, and this is the reward that you are giving, and you keep telling in your speeches that there should be a two-way traffic. That one, I love you, you love me, like that. But in my case, it is only I love you. You don't seem to love me, like that. I was quarreling with him in my mind. Then within a few minutes, my father came and he said, tomorrow I am going to Vrindavan. Whoever wants to come, come. And in my house, since everybody is a Sai devotee, they all came. Everybody said, I'll come, and all of them came. And it was just a day after tomorrow, the summer course is to start. And there was a very big crowd because already people who have been selected, they came for registration with their parents and everything. Very, very big crowd was there. I was feeling, but whatever I was telling Swami, two-way traffic, one-way traffic, and everything, I wrote it in the paper. I wrote a letter and I kept it. I wanted to give it to Swami. Why in the photo I will give it to him straight away, like that, I was thinking. But what happened was, and some nice place I got by Baba's grace, because even though there were so many people. I went and I sat. Never I used to fear Swami, because in Sandeha Nivarani and in some this thing, no, there used to be some 48 qualities which a person should have. And I used to put tick mark whether I am having this quality, whether I'm having that quality, like that, like that. And most of it at that time, not now, I will not say about now. At that time, I had lot of those top qualities which I can put a tick against those things. Then I went to thing, and we, myself and my sister, got a nice place to sit, and we sat there. And Swami came. It was a bhajan day also. Swami came, and as he was nearing me, suddenly I got very scared. I got very frightened, and then I didn't want to give the letter. So what I did was I hid my letter under my clothes, and I kept my hand like that, very this thing. Swami came to me straight, and then he pulled his sleeves like that, and then he said, give me that letter. Then I was looking at him. I didn't know what to give, but he didn't go from that place. He was still telling, give, like that. Then I gave that letter. And many people had given him so many letters. He carried it. He didn't give it to his assistant or anybody who was walking behind him also. Like that, went, and he went to the bhajan to all the people, collected all the letters, and then he came back and he sat in the chair. And bhajan was going on, and Akhanda bhajan till evening. So as the bhajan was going, Swami was, shaking his head like this, and all that. Afterwards, he went away. Then I said, okay, my job is over. I have given the letter and all that. And everybody, except the singers and a few people, all others used to rise up and go for their own, their own specific purposes. They used to go away and then come back again, reassemble in the evening, like that it used to be. So when they went, we also got up, and I said, in my heart I was thinking that, okay, I have done my duty, that's all. And Swami had come and collected the letter from me, that's all. Swami had not yet gone into the gate to go to his residence. But at that time, before that, at least some 20 feet was still left. Swami had to walk and go. And behind him, there was a state president and also Dr. Padmanabhan. They were walking behind him. Big crowd. Suddenly, somebody called, Nalini, Nalini, like that. I said, Hare, who knows my name here? Except my family members. Who knows my name here? And that too, it was a male voice calling, Nalini, Nalini, like. So I went towards the direction of the sound. Then I saw from Swami's behind, Dr. Sundarrao was coming, walking towards me. Swami had not yet gone inside. He returned from Swami. He came here. When he saw, I went in that direction. Then he looked at me and he said, here is your badge. You are chosen by Swami as a student. Go home, bring your luggage and come. Because 1 month we have to be there in Swami's thing. So then he also asked, has your sister come? I said, yes. Then I want to give Swami wants to give invitee badge even to your wife, your sister. So he gave that also. But they were not supposed to stay in the thing. But many things happened. I don't have time for all these things, for everything to be said. I think I have already crossed the limit. So here what happened was that Swami knows you by name. Swami knows each and everything. The moment you write a letter in your house, he knows the thought, through this thing, how he picks up the thing. So before I could end this, one more important, actually there are so many things which I wanted to say. One very, very important thing, no, two very important things I'll say. I'll be very fast in saying this. And it so happened that there was a photo session and we have to pay 25 rupees to buy that photo. And we had a photo, Karnataka people, we took a photo with Swami and my father gave money for that. Then afterwards, we had to get a certificate from Swami. That is in some college, one gallery used to be there. And I asked my father, everybody was giving the um, order to the photographer, with the photographer to take their photograph when they receive the certificate from Swami. Then I asked my father, Appa, can you give me money? I can buy the photograph. I'll ask that photographer to do. And he said, why one photograph I've already given? No, that is enough. Other things, for everything, when you need not take photo, keep it in your mind. Then I said, okay, my brain is the camera, and I will keep that incident in my mind like that. It was a turn when we had to go there to the auditorium, and Swami gave certificate, and the photographer was clicking whoever had ordered. But when my turn came, I was thinking, oh, my photo cannot be taken because I don't have money. And anyway, I was looking at Swami and I went and I received the certificate from him. And I came back with a very heavy heart. But afterwards, again, it was all solved. I was just thinking, no point in brooding over all these things. And I came away. Then Swami said, after 1 or 2 days, he said, all of us are going to Puttaparthi. So he was also coming in his car and we were going in the bus. 5 buses followed him and all that thing. Suddenly, Swami would disappear somewhere in the car. Then once what happened was he came into the bus in which we were there. And he stopped the bus and came into the bus. And, I can't describe to you how it was. And then he came 2-3 things. He saw me from inside the bus. Inside the bus he came and he saw me. Then he came down. Then everybody came down from the bus and we were somewhere in one of the villages, deserted villages. And then we were there and everybody got into the bus. But I was standing next to Swami. I refused to go into the bus. Then Swami said, po, like that. I said, no, Swami, I won't go. I was like a father holding to the hands of Swami like that. Then Swami said, no, po, like that. And he put on my back his hand and then he said, go. Then I went inside and I was in tears. Then as the bus moved out, Swami was standing on the road, on the village road. Then we went, then we were shaking hand. I was shaking hand with Swami. Then till the end, till I could see Swami's this thing, I waved out. And what he did, he was standing there only. He took his handkerchief and then he started waving to me like that. So it was, the pure love between God and his created soul. So this incident, what is in your heart, he knows. Then Swami, we went to Puttaparthi. Swami distributed vibhuti and all that. When we came again after 1 month or so, Swami came back to Vrindavan. We came back in 2-3 days time. And then what happened in Vrindavan, it was time for the darshan. I was already sitting there. My brother had joined the college in 1977. And that is after the summer course was over. Then he was, that photographer had many photographs and he was distributing to the people who had ordered and all that. And some other photos were also there like that, Swami alone like that. Then he was telling, when one photo came, he was telling, I have not clicked this photo and I don't know how it has come into my set of photos. And then my brother was looking, because there were so many people around him. My brother was looking at that. It looks like my sister. Let me go and ask. I was already sitting in the line. Then he called through somebody. Then I went there. And when I saw, it was my photo, which Swami had clicked. He was not aware of clicking this photographer. Then he's told, I said, I just saw the photo and I gave it back to him because I didn't have even 1 rupee in my hand. So I said, why are you giving it back to me? I said, I don't have money. You keep the photo. Then he said, no, what will I do by keeping that photo? It is your photo. So you will feel happy when this photo is with you. So you take that photo. You don't have to give me 1 rupee or 1 paisa also. You don't have to give me. You take it. Then I understood his point. And then I took the photo. I came and sat in the line. It was time for Swami to come. I showed the photo to him, and Swami happily put all his hand like that, and then he put like that, and then 2-3 times, and then he blessed that photo. And I should say that that is the photo which has come in the invitation for this day's talk. So what I'm saying is that Swami is Sarvasakshi. Whatever you think, Sarvavyapi, he knows everything. Wherever you may be, he knows about it. And you know, there are so many incidences, but you know, it lot of miracles which had happened, lots and lots, which goes to prove that he is Sarvavyapi, Sarvasakshi. What is in your mind, he knows. So you can't escape. You may think that I am thinking within my mind only. Others will not know, but he knows. That is why we have to be very careful in our thinking also. Like, you know, we should not think anything bad about anybody. We should not do anything bad. That's why he says, do good, be good, see good. That is the way to God. That is what he says. And he proved it to me in one of the another, how it works. What is the scientific basis behind this working between Swami and all of us. I do not know whether I have time to tell this. Mr. Manikandan? Hello?
Ma'am, we are almost reaching 6:30, ma'am. Saira, ma'am, we're almost reaching 6:30.
Have I crossed my limit?
That's okay, ma'am. A couple of minutes is okay, ma'am. No problem.
Okay. Because what happened, I have not been a meditator or something. There used to be a lot of miracles which happened in our house, and it all used to be that, you know, we used to wonder how it happens. All our doors and windows, everything is closed. How Swami comes inside and does all these things. It was happening for 8 years. Now it is not happening because maybe he wants us to learn certain lessons in life. But you know, you might have heard of vibhuti falling and turmeric powder falling and so many things like that. But in my house, there used to be not only these things, even amritam falling and flowing from the photo. It not falling, not in the photo alone, it used to flow. One day when it was flowing, it came to the ground and all that in the puja room. My father put Lakshman Rekha, and you know, so that ants will not, because we are not supposed to touch. And my father put Lakshman Rekha. Immediately a letter came from Swami. He said, "What, Mr. Sri Raman, you are put Lakshman Rekha? It is a Visham. Why are you putting Visham?" Then my father was telling us before that I want to put, he was telling us, Lakshman Rekha podano, ena erumballam vandrum adu. I was telling, I may come in any form, I may come even in the form of an ant. So why you want to kill me if I come in the form of an ant? So like that. Or another time like that, he said, should I be here or should I not be here? You are putting Visham, like that. So then what happened, because we think that by putting Lakshman Rekha, you know, we can avoid such things. He says, I know everything, so you don't have to tell. Here what happened was, one day, even some letters used to fall in our house, you know. Swami used to write letters, and it used to be in Tamil only, and it used to be in scribbling thing, because he used to come in the astral form. And in the astral form, no physical body. Then, so the handwriting also would be different, totally different. And then what happened one day, he said, as I was talking to my sister, what is this, how he comes and what he is doing? We are not such, you know, we are ordinary people. Then he said, Nane ushnu varuven, kaathu moolama ushnu varuven. He used the word whoosh and through the thing. Then I was thinking, oh, he writes something like that. And one day, as I was going through the Vishnu Sahasranam, and we all chant Vishnu Sahasranam, and we are not giving a damn to the meaning and relating to what it is. It is said in Vishnu Sahasranam, Skanda Skandadaro Dhuryo Varado Vayuvahanaha. You know, it is in the 36th shloka. Again in the 91st shloka, it states, Bhara Pritgatito Yogi, Yogi Shasarvakamataha, Ashrama Shamanakshama, Suparno Vayuvahanaha. It's Vayuvahanaha. You might have seen in the temple all other Vahanam, Mayil Vahanam, Yana Vahanam, all Vahanam. But Vayuvahanaha, this is what Swami used to do. He, just as air is all pervading, you cannot find a place where there is no air. And maybe the pressure may be different, but you will find that. So like that, Swami is everywhere. Sarva Vyapi, Sarva Sakshi, Sarvantaryami. So, Swami, how you are able to? I used to blame Swami whenever he never used to look at me when I go to Vrindavan. As the crowd started becoming more and more, you can't expect Swami to see you in that whole crowd every time when you go to Vrindavan. Then, but still I had that thing. And, and in Puttaparthi also. Once what happened in Puttaparthi, I was sitting there. Next to me, there was one marriage party. Swami came. I was sitting in front row. Baba came and he put Akshata on those two people. Next to that, I was sitting. He brought his hand like that, but he didn't put the Akshata on me. And I said, when I came home, I told my mother, see, look, Swami, what is there? He brought his hand like this. He could have put it on me. No, what is there? அவள்லாம் கல்யாணம் ஆகிறதுக்கோசரம் இது வாங்கிக்கிறா ஆசீர்வாதம், உனக்கு என்னத்துக்கு அதெல்லாம் ஒன்னும் பிளஸ் எவ்வளோ தரம் பிளஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கார், அதெல்லாம் பரவாயில்ல அப்படின்னு something she told like that. Then I kept quiet and many years passed by after that. One day what happened, as I was chanting Vedic chanting when I was doing, and I used to go into trance sometimes, like body consciousness will not be there sometimes. Then what happened, there was one sound, shh, like that. Then suddenly, like that. Then what happened, my eyes were closed and I was having a book, Vedic chanting book in my hand in 1996, like that. Then I found that everywhere, all over me, there was Akshata. My mother was in the kitchen. My father was reading a newspaper in the hall. I was in the puja room. My three other sisters were in upstairs. So this, one of the things, because I'm not explaining much, but one day what happened, when I was coming and complaining about Swami to my mother, Swami didn't see me in Whitefield. Then he said, you are always complaining. I said, no, it's not like that. I am not a meditator. My mother told you, go and meditate. I said, I can't meditate. I am only a bhajan singer. I can do only pujas. Puja you ask me to do, I'll do and all. But meditation and all, I won't get it. Then my Swami used to, my mother had a kind of a siddhi, and then Swami used to appear before her, and how he roams in the house, she used to see at that time. And, she told, Swami is telling, you go and do meditation. He will come and talk. Nothing, you just have to imagine his whole figure, that's all, from head to the feet, and be in silent and he will come and do. So she chased me and then she commanded me to go and do it. So I went and I sat there. That time, my mind became very clear. Suddenly I heard in my this thing, Buddhu. He said, okay, I'm Buddhu only. Then he said, எப்ப பார்த்தாலும் சொல்லிண்டே சுவாமி எனக்கு இது பண்ணல அது பண்ணல அத்தே தான் சொல்லிட்டு இருப்பேன். அப்புறமா கேள்வி கேட்பேன், எப்படி சுவாமிக்கு தெரியும், எல்லாம் எப்படி சுவாமிக்கு தெரியும். சரி, இப்போ நான் உனக்கு சொல்ல போறேன் எப்படி சுவாமிக்கு தெரியும். Can I speak in Tamil, whatever happened, because I think everybody knows.
No problem.
Yeah. Then he said, உன் தம்பி எங்க இருக்கான்? அமெரிக்கால இருக்கான். அமெரிக்கா எவ்வளவு தூரம் இருக்கு? 10,000 கிலோமீட்டருக்கு மேல இருக்கும். ஓஹோ, 10,000 கிலோமீட்டருக்கு மேலயா? அப்ப நீ உன் தம்பியோட பேசுற இல்லையா? ஆமா பேசுறேன். போன்ல பேசுற இல்லையா? ஆமா போன்ல பேசுறேன். அப்போ அப்ப நீ போன் பண்றச்சு எப்படி பண்ற? அப்பெல்லாம் மொபைல் கிடையாது. நம்ம டயலிங் இதுல பண்றோம். ஸோ டயல் பண்ணிட்டே இருந்தது. 1 செகண்ட். ஸோ அப்ப நான் சொன்னேன், அந்த நம்பர் என்ன நம்பரோ அதுக்கு 001-502 இந்த மாதிரி அமெரிக்கால அந்த மாதிரி நம்பர்லாம் கொஞ்சம் ஜாஸ்தி இருக்கும், ஒரு 10 நம்பர் இருக்கும். ஓஹோ, அத்தனை நம்பர் பண்ணேன்னாக்க உனக்கு நீ அவ்வளோ நம்பர் பண்றியே, அப்ப நீ அப்போ உனக்கு கனெக்ஷன் கிடைச்சுதா? இல்ல சுவாமி, நான் ஃபுல்லு பண்ணணும், எல்லா நம்பரும் பண்ணாதான் எனக்கு கிடைக்கும் கனெக்ஷன் அப்படின்னு. ஓஹோ, எல்லாரும் அப்ப என்ன இங்கேருந்து அங்க ஒயர் இருக்கா அப்படின்னு? இல்லையே சுவாமி, ஒயர் எல்லாம் இல்லைன்னு. ஓஹோ, ஒயர் இல்லையா? பின்ன எப்படி போறது இதெல்லாம்? நீங்க கூப்பிடுறது எப்படி அங்க போறது? எவ்வளோ பேர் இருக்கா, எவ்வளோ பேரோட பேசணும்னு இருக்கா, அவளுக்கு எல்லாம் எப்படி கிடைக்கிறதுன்னு எனக்கு தெரியாது சுவாமி அதெல்லாம் அப்படின்னு. போன் பண்ணா போன் பேசுறேன், அவ்வளவுதான். அப்புறம் சொன்னேன், சரி இவ்வளவோ நம்பர் பண்ணையே, 9 நம்பர் நீ பண்றச்சே உனக்கு அதுல கனெக்ஷன் கிடைச்சுதா? இல்ல சுவாமி கிடைக்கல. 10வது நம்பர் பண்ணச்சே கிடைச்சுதா? சரி, இப்ப 10வது நம்பர் 5ன்னு வச்சுக்கோ. இப்போ சப்போஸ் நீ 4ன்னு போட்டா என்ன ஆயிடும்? 5க்கு பதிலா நான் 4ன்னு நீ போட்டேன்னாக்க அது வேற யாருக்குன்னா போகும், கனெக்ஷனே கிடைக்காது அப்படின்னு. ஓஹோ, அப்ப அந்த லாஸ்ட் நம்பர் உனக்கு ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் இல்லையா? ஆமா, இந்த லாஸ்ட் நம்பர் அமுக்கிறதுக்கு எத்தனை டைம் ஆகும்? ஜஸ்ட் 1 செகண்ட், அவ்வளவுதான். சும்மா அப்படி அமுக்க லாஸ்ட் பண்ணாக்க வந்துடுறது அப்படின்னு. அதுக்கு அப்ப கிடைச்ச உடனே நீ அவளோட உன்னோட பிரதரோட உடனே பேசிடுற இல்லையா? 1 செகண்ட் கூட ஆகிறது இல்ல. நாட் ஈவன் 1 செகண்ட் இட் டேக்ஸ் டு டயல் தட் லாஸ்ட் நம்பர் and to get that person 10,000 kilometers, whatever may be the number of kilometers, within that fraction of a second. You can't even say a fraction. I cannot explain what it is. So that second, what you say, I'll call it as fraction of a second only. So you make the thing and that number, and it reaches the person with whom you want to talk, and he says hello, and you are able to say immediately hello. That also happens within a fraction of a second. Swami, I just இதெல்லாம் யார் கண்டுபிடிச்சா? மார்க்கோனி யாரு? I simply said Marconi. I don't know whether it is Graham Bell or Marconi. I said Marconi. Then said Marconi yaru? Then I told, ஒரு human being. வேற என்னன்னு சொல்ல முடியும்? எனக்கு மாமாவா இல்லைன்னா வேற ஏதானவா எனக்கு கிடையாது, நோ ரிலேஷன்ஷிப். So I said ஒரு ஹியூமன் பீயிங். ஓ, ஒரு ஹியூமன் பீயிங்க்கு இவ்வளோ கண்டுபிடிக்கிறதுக்கு சக்தி இருக்கா? எனக்கு எப்படி இருக்கும்? I am the creator. All calls come to me. I am a big transformer. I am a big telephone exchange. All calls come to me and all calls go out of me. It was such a beautiful, wonderful, I cannot say what in English, what to say, that such a truth that he has given to you. Moment you think in your system, in your brain, there is a connection with Swami. All creations, especially men, this we have something called as Brahmarandra. There is a hole there, and from the top of your head it goes. Other people need not know what you are thinking, and you may think that, oh, I am hiding things from, but you cannot hide from God. So what he had said was that it comes to me immediately, whoever it may be. You might have heard, all of you are reading Sai Satcharita, and you have heard that lizards, those 2 lizards, what happened? And how Baba knows even the thought about the lizards and what is happening to each and every creatures. Then what happened was, I just said, Swami, I'm very sorry. Now I have got a clear idea about you. No, no, no. I want to tell you something and I'll write to you later. Then what happened? And this incident, actually, I had to share with people when I went to California, and I was giving a talk in the study circle, and people over there were overwhelmed, and then they were so surprised, and they were said, "Madam, now we come to know. All these days we used to think that we are so far away from Puttaparthi, we are not having darshan of Swami, but this incident, you have physically come here and you have said about this what Swami has said to you. It is so true, because those people, those who attended, they were all scientists, and nearly 100 people, they were scientists, engineers, and all those people. So they were saying that from now onwards, how we relate to Swami will be entirely different. So maybe he did this to make others also know about it. Then he said one day that, he wrote one letter. He said, "You're saying that Swami has not looked at you? You were the one who didn't look at Swami. When I looked at you, you didn't look at me." He said, "Possibly, maybe fraction of a second, my eyes would have gone to see somebody else, I don't know. But, that constant thing to look at only Swami, maybe I do not know." And he said, "No, I'll tell you one thing. Are you not going to the party?" I said, "Yes, I'm going to the party." Then he said, suppose somebody is sick in the house, but you have to go to the party. Then what do? You will tell the host, "I am in a hurry. I have just come here just because you called me. I came here, but I have to go. Somebody is not well at home," like that. Then, so your mind, even though you go to the party, your mind is always thinking about somebody who is at home, who is not well, or who is whatever may be, or my children are there, whatever it may be. People have many reasons to say something. And he said, "Even when I come for darshan, it is just like a party. I always think of you. I am always connected to you in my mind. So don't think that I am not looking at you or not coming near you like that. I'm always there," he said. And another time he said, in the thing, I was sitting in one place, and I had, some ants started moving on my leg. And then one ant came, two ants came, three ants came, and so many ants came. I just, like a statue, I was sitting, allowing all the ants to come and move on my body. I was just watching. One ant was going from one place to another place, another place to another place, like that, and two ants meeting each other and all that thing. And then he said, from my behind, he said, "What are you observing?" "Swami, I'm observing these things." He said, "The entire universe is my body. And you people are like ants moving on my body." Then I started singing. Suddenly one song came to me, because we sing so many bhajans, but we don't give, we don't relate to the inner meaning of all these things. Kamal Netra Saishwara Kaivalya Teja Sureshwara Kamal Netra Saishwara Meghashama Gana Gagana Sharira. It was entire sky, entire
Ma'am, we are unable to listen to you. Ma'am,
Not audible.
And it is sorry, Ali, I have no words, and I surrender, nothing but to surrender at His lotus feet. I thank all of you for having patience to listen to this. It is not about myself.
Sairam?
Nothing is audible.
Ma'am, she's logged off. Maybe she will log in again. We'll just wait for a few seconds, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.